Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Hub World podcast. Um, I would like to announce formally today that we have made our debut on Spotify. Um, so you can check us out there and you can follow us for all the latest Hub World shenanigans. We have uploaded all of our backlogs, so if you are just joining us now, you can easily listen to it on a car ride or while you're on a jog or while you're working out or whatever. So we hope that you'll follow us on Spotify, as well as if you continue to support us here on YouTube, that would be great as well. Um, my name is Jules from the Hub World.
I am Matteo from the Hub World.
Hey, I'm Gino from the Hub World.
And today we have a very special episode because we are joined by our first ever guest, and I will let him introduce himself to you. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Giancarlo. Towards my relationship with the Hub World, I am a supposed Pokemon expert that bugs these guys with random Pokemon facts all the time.
Very true. Which good intro, Giancarlo, and welcome to the Hub World. Thank you for joining us. The reason we've called upon his expertise today is because, as many of you may know, Pokemon had their own little presentation today to announce some stuff, and we're going to be breaking that down, talking about what happened, giving you our opinions, and just general Pokemon shenanigans. So
before we do, gotta do that annoying YouTuber thing about, hey, if you like what we're doing here at the Hub World, like the video, give us a subscribe, tell us to your friends, tell us to your mother. Yeah, talk about us, spread it around if you like what we're doing here. If you're new, subscribe. Chances are you probably aren't. But yeah, give us a subscribe. Lets us know that what we're doing is, I guess, all right. Yeah, with that little spiel out of the way, let us know.
the spiel isn't done, Gino. You forgot the most important part of our spiel.
What?
If you're a
Oh,
Gino
yeah,
fan,
no-
unsubscribe, get out.
Outside of me, you can be a fan of
If
me.
you
Just not
support
the little puppet thing.
Gino in Smash, please, we beg you, unfollow, don't comment on our videos, leave, find
Share us
your
with your
own
famed
echo
friends.
chamber to listen to.
Don't
We
comment.
do not
don't
want you here.
subscribe.
Get out.
Don't leave a thumbs up at the end of the video. In fact, keep
No.
your finger off of that.
Get out. Just leave. You're not welcome. Okay. So to kick off our Pokemon discussion, we're just gonna have an icebreaker as always. Spoiler for the Pokemon presentation: it was very Sinnoh focused, which we will get into. So we thought we'll have a Sinnoh focused icebreaker. So we're each gonna share who our favorite Pokemon from the 4th generation of Pokemon is and why. Um, and anybody is free to begin with that icebreaker.
All right, I will start. So Gen 4, Sinnoh region, uh, it was one of the most unique things about that to me was the fact that it brought back, or it got a bunch of Pokemon from previous generations, the previous 3, and gave new evolutions to them. A lot of Pokemon with one state, like which is basic Pokemon, got new evolutions. And for me, my favorite one, and is my favorite Pokemon from Gen 4, is Gliscor. Gligar was one of my favorite Pokemon from uh, Gen 2, and I just had so much fun playing as or using Gliscor with Guillotine with the using Guillotine with the item that increases its accuracy. Just one-shotting people and or one-shotting friends was really fun, and also his design's really cool. Like it's such a I like how like he's using darker shades of purple, and his tail is huge, and I liked using my Gliscor. I nicknamed him Batman. But and yeah, like even to this day, when I make my teams in Pokemon, like Gliscor's usually on my team. His typing's really cool. Yeah, I love everything about Gliscor is my favorite. Like from Gen 4, like just so good.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. Yeah, my favorite from this gen here. I'm not gonna go with one of the regular Pokemon because Gen 4 is the gen that I used a lot of alternative tools to acquire certain Pokemons that were not
Sounds
available to
sexy.
us here in Canada. I had one of those action replay devices, and yes, I hacked the items for the
Gino.
event legendaries into my game. Oh gosh,
You
2006.
scoundrel.
It was the
Yes.
only way we could do it.
Yeah, we didn't get any of those events, and I think even if we had the ability to, it was like too late into the gen. So my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon is Darkrai, and I when I
so
first learned
edgy.
about when I learned about Darkrai, I'm like, what the heck? There's more legendaries. How do I get it? And it was in that one house in the port town where you go do this dream sequence. Basically, you go into this child's nightmare. You get sent to an island, and then Darkrai's there, like influencing the kid's dreams, and you can catch it. That was pretty cool. Darkrai was pretty edgy in like what 2005, 2006 when this game came out. I was like end of elementary school. We didn't have middle school here where we are, so we just went from like elementary straight into high school. So for grade 8, so like that grade 7, grade 8-ish time frame, of course, edgy was cool. So yeah, Darkrai was awesome. The dark typing, being able to sleep every Pokemon in the battle outside from Darkrai was pretty cool. Throw Nightmare on, and then his slow damage over time ability, Bad Dreams, was really really cool. So you'd put everyone to sleep. You'd have your Nightmare. You'd use Nightmare, and then you'd also get that additional damage over time with the ability. It was really cool just to like put everyone to sleep permanently. I had a lot of fun with that.
I suppose the Pokemon expert should go next, of
Sure,
course.
Go ahead.
See, here's the thing, because one thing, Gen 4 was my first introduction into Pokemon as a kid, so like it has a very, very soft space in my heart. And especially when it comes to like the starting Pokemon, not the starters that you get, but like the typical bug, bird, rodent Pokemon that you get at the beginning of every single Pokemon game. And because it was like the first Pokemon that purely drawed towards me, I have to go with Cricketune. The derpiest looking improvish mantis looking Pokemon inside of the entire game. I had that Pokemon for the majority of my playthrough through Diamond. And even though I kept dying, I just had such a soft space in my heart to keep reviving him during every single battle and just shoot him out into the front line. This was before I was even a quote unquote Pokemon expert and I knew anything about type advantage. I kind of just sent this bug Pokemon to his death multiple times and just kept reviving him because it's just like, yeah, he's got mustache. He's cool.
Not to mention, Cricketune cry is arguably like the funniest cry that any Pokemon has.
Oh my god, it just sounds like a bit tuned kazoo to me, and I love it.
It's funny because like Cricketune one of those Pokemon that when Gen 4 first released and I was a kid and I looked at it, I was like, this is the stupidest Pokemon design I've ever seen in my life. And I hated the thing. And as I grew older, I appreciated the wacky silliness and like the way it stood out and was like completely like not like other Pokemon designs. Like I started to appreciate that. But when it first launched, I was very much like, why? Why did they make this?
Just
oh no.
Just adamant admission to its existence, and I love it. If I had to give like a close second that like actually meant something more than just I like how funny it is, it has to be Gastrodon. With Kricketune being the Pokemon that I sent to its death multiple times, Gastrodon was the Pokemon that I threw in to save the day the majority of times. The moment that I got a Shellos on, I think it was like Route 20 or something, right before the fourth battle with the rival from that game. Names are fading from me, so excuse me from that. Oh my god. This water ground type with Storm Drain just took my team to another level. Nothing could take this beast down. And it was just this jiggly, gelatinous slug of I will destroy you. And I just loved every second of it.
That may need to be the episode title.
That
The Jiggly The Jiggly Gelatinous. What did you say?
Jiggly gelatinous a slug of I
might need to be the episode title.
That was great. There it is, right there. Yeah. 10 minutes and approximately 45 seconds. I got a timer going.
Aren't you happy you brought me as a cat? Aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off. I want to say mine now.
Okay.
Mine, I guess, is similar to Matteo's. Like, I really appreciated Gen 4 for all it did with evolutions of past Pokemon. And one of the ones that I just really latched onto, and I don't even know why. Like, you all had these like big reasons for why you like these characters. I didn't even use this Pokemon in Gen 4. Like, genuinely, I didn't even use this Pokemon in Gen 4. It's just over time, it has become one of my favorites, and that's Weavile. And the thing is, I remember with Gen 2, I liked Sneasel, but I'm one of those people that I don't like using, one stage Pokemon on my team. Like, I just don't. That's not something I do. So, I liked Sneasel's design, but I never used it. When Gen 4 came around, I didn't really use Weavile either. And then as time went on, and I started to solidify my destiny as a dark type trainer, Weavile became one of my favorite Pokemon. I always liked Weavile's design. It was speedy at one point. Now, not so much. Now, there's like
it's still fast.
20, 25, 30 Pokemon that are faster than it. But at one point, it was one of the speediest. Yeah, it's still fast. And I just like it overall, especially its sprites, because it looked really intimidating back in like Gen 4 with its sprites. As we've moved into the 3D era, it's kind of gotten less intimidating and more like cute. And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of fine with that change. But like, I don't even think other people should like Weavile. That's part of what I like about Weavile, is it feels like my niche. It feels like other people don't really like Weavile. Like, it's not really a popular character. And I remember when Pokken Tournament was announced and they announced Weavile as a playable character. I was literally like, what? I was like, I'm happy. Weavile's like my second favorite Pokemon of all time, but like, why? Why did they choose Weavile? And it turns out because the devs were like me. They were just Weavile fans, and they're like, we're fans of it. We're putting it in. I'm like, okay, sounds good to me. And it didn't get popular from it, which was even better, because I like it being my niche. I like that Weavile is like my Pokemon, because it's one of all the Pokemon I like. So of all my team, I would say the other 5 Pokemon on my main core team are all fairly popular Pokemon. Weavile's the one that's like, this is mine. Nobody else really loves this Pokemon. Just me.
I'm not like those other kids. I like Weavile.
Yeah, I like Weavile.
Yeah.
Can I put an honorable mention out there?
Sure.
As Giancarlo was talking about like the derpiness and glory of Kricketune, I had like the biggest missed opportunity.
Which was
Matteo's gonna hate me for this.
I already know what you're saying. Like the second you open your mouth, I know.
Badoof.
I'm surprised you
Gotta put it
didn't
out
say
there.
this.
So
It's got. I
confused.
really want to change mine to Badoof, but Darkrai was the first one. Badoof is like the acquired taste.
This is
That,
Bidoof.
like,
Bidoof is the cultured taste
Yeah,
of Pokemon.
Bidoof is my mature choice. Darkrai was like the edgy like proto teenager choice.
Gino,
Yeah.
But
you
Darkrai was the first one. But yeah,
you
Bidoof.
you
Okay, let's go.
Bidoofus.
Okay, we got this. Okay, so let me just kind of progress the video a little here.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh
Just
yeah,
he
if
said
you're
at
on
the beginning,
Spotify,
there's
you're not
like
going to see this.
no, they won't, but that's okay. That's all right because they'll hear what we're saying. We're not really going to focus too much on the video in this one, but let me get through the 7 minutes of them just going through everything and saying trading cards and anime like 17 times
Oh
to
my
get to the
gosh,
actual
this is
game
painful.
announcements.
I slept
So we
in a
got
little bit. I slept in during like the first few minutes. Like I woke up at 7:15 this morning because it was airing here where we are at 7 a.m. and I kind of slept in a bit and I just saw all that stuff. I watched like up to the Gen 3 portion of that like intro year, like that intro 25 anniversary thing, and I'm like, yeah, I can just skip all of this. And I almost spoiled myself for the second announcement of this video. It was just like
Oh yeah.
a gray screen and I'm like, I think I went a little too far, and then I went back. Luckily nothing was spoiled.
it's okay.
So,
So first of all,
I'd, are we
okay.
gonna play? What do you think the plushies in the background mean?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. First of all, before we get to there, first of all, when I saw these, my first thought was, "Oh, hey, those are from the Sitting Cuties line," because I've started buying my team as these Sitting Cuties. So these guys, like these, like the Eevee and the like Umbreon and like the
Espeon.
the Johto starters up there and like
The Hoenn
the
stars.
the Hoenn stars. These are all part of a line called the Sitting Cuties, and they're making these of every single Pokemon. Like literally every single Pokemon. 3 years ago they did all Gen 1, 2 years ago they did all Gen 2. This year they're doing all Gen 3. And it makes sense that if the end of the year is going to be like a Sinnoh relaunch, um, that next year is going to be the Gen 4 ones, which is great. And they're really cute. They're all small. They're all the same size. They're really good quality. So that's just first thing. Second, I immediately saw the Sinnoh starters there, and I was like, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me, Pokemon Company.
Yeah, but the Sinnoh starters are there, but also the Johto starters are on the left side, and in the bottom right you have Eevee, Umbreon, and Espeon. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh no, please,
But here's
please
the
don't.
thing. Here's the differentiation, though. At first, I was like, I saw the Johto stars. I was like, okay, like could be Let's Go Johto, but like I said, with Sitting Cuties, these are all from the Sitting Cuties line, except for the Gen 8 ones, which fine, those are there because they're relevant, and the Gen 4 ones. The Gen 4 ones were odd ones out to me.
But there's also like Lapras, Meowth, and Slowbro.
Yeah, because those are Sitting Cuties.
Yeah, they're Gen 1. They did the
Those are all
entirety
the
of Gen 1 ones. Plus,
Yeah, they
they've
just
been
have-
given a lot of. I don't know about
Like, you can kind of
Lapras,
see
but
like the Hoenn starters are like behind his shoulder there. But anyway, we're
I
talking
know,
too
but
much about the plushies.
those are Sitting Cuties though. Like the Gen 4 ones are not Sitting Cuties.
Yeah, they stand out.
Hey,
But
can
what's
I?
that Krogunk? Is that a Krogunk statue in the top?
Yeah, it kind of looks like Krogunk to me.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I think is that not the substitute?
It could be a poly. No, it's not the substitute. The substitute looks
Okay.
entirely different. It could also be a Polytoad.
Yeah.
In any
then
case,
that wouldn't make
I'm
sense.
sure like I don't know if you watch it live, Giancarlo, but I'm sure for us three, like that, seeing the Sinnoh stars there was like an initial idea of what was going on,
No,
considering all the
no,
rumors, considering what we wanted, you know. Now,
Oh, definitely.
here's what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna kind of take the lead here, okay? So I'm gonna play the video. I think we're just about at when. So the screen goes dark, right? And then the Switch logo comes. Oh no, this is Pokemon Snap. Never mind.
Yeah, they go.
Blah,
It goes
blah.
Pokemon
We don't need
Snap.
to. You don't need to
Okay,
talk about
pause. Just for a
Snap.
quick thing here.
Yeah. What?
Loki
which
thought when he first said when dude first said the lentil region, and I'm like, what?
Lentils,
Yeah, that's
right?
that's a
I
terrible
know.
name for a
All I
region.
can think
Yeah,
of
That's terrible.
same
Lentils
here.
are
think
named
about
after
is
the
my Nona's house.
Oh
Lentil
my
soup.
All I can
god.
think about is when
Like
I hear
the
the lentil
bean.
region. Oh my
Lentil.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
hate
thought it was
lentils
like, okay, I
too.
heard lentil, and I'm like, no, it can't be lentil. I must still be
Yeah.
asleep. It must be like lento or
No,
something kind of
no,
like
they
lens
announced
or
that
like
last.
canto.
They announced that last time they showed off Pokemon Snap stuff, and as soon as they said it, I had the same thought, Gino, and I was gonna send it to all you guys, and I just never did because I was like, whatever, like maybe nobody else has said anything about how stupid it is. Maybe it's just me, but I'm glad you're bringing
I
that
thought
up.
I
'cause
thought
it's
the
such
name
a
reveal
dumb.
here
No,
was
no,
the
it's
first time.
so
last
so
time.
Yeah.
dumb.
It's
derpy.
really bad.
It's really derpy.
I'm shocked that like that made it through like all the various
Yeah.
stages of like development and like localization and things. Like I think it is definitely like if you consider all the main regions and then like the spin-off game regions, all that, it's by far
It's
the
the
worst
worst
named region.
by
Like
far.
It
the
is.
reason it's bad is because like I could not even like if you asked me right now on the spot what's the name of the region in Pokemon Coliseum, I would not be able to tell you. It's forgettable to me, like the name of the region in that game, but at least it's forgettable because like it didn't stand out for any reason to me. This stands out as a terrible name,
Yeah.
and like it's so bad. Like
I feel like, okay,
I
wait.
think of lentil
what?
soup.
Wait,
I
wait.
think of lentils. Like
We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Hey, I like
we're
lentils,
hurting.
therefore this game will be good.
Okay, we weren't planning on talking about Pokemon Snap today, but we're hurting Pokemon Snap's feelings. So before we move on, we all have to say one nice thing about Pokemon Snap that we
Oh,
saw
I can say
today.
20 nice things about this game.
I
This
like
game
the
looks
water.
gorgeous.
yeah,
It's just the name. It's just the name.
the game is fantastic. It's like what was it? What were we talking about? Something
The
with a terrible
original
name
Pokemon
recently.
Snap?
Pokemon Brush.
Oh no, wait. Are you talking about the Octopath Traveler thing that had the
Yes,
terrible
Triangle
name?
yes,
thing?
we were
I
talking
was
about
trying to
in the
say
direct
that.
podcast. Triangle Strategy is an awful name.
Oh
This
god.
continues the trend of awful names in Nintendo or not or in Nintendo related presentations. It's terrible.
In any case, I think Pokemon Snap looks good, but I don't want it to be the focal point. So I'm gonna move us through.
Yeah.
And now we're here, okay? We're here.
No,
where
you're not
we're
here
at.
yet.
Oh,
You're
no,
not
no,
here
let's
yet.
talk about the
Background
events.
change.
Okay.
Oh.
Did anything in the background?
Okay, we're
change?
here. Okay, we're here.
All right.
But
Woo!
just to remind you, the context. Yeah, I saw the plushies, blah blah blah. I was ready for Gen 4 stuff. Now I wonder if I should take this opportunity to tell you about my dream last night to give you a bit of my mental state going into this.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
That's
Okay,
sure.
so before we get to this, so last night I went to bed fairly late. I got home from work fairly late, stayed up, and went to bed pretty late. And I had a pretty bad sleep, and part of that was because I was like really excited and really nervous about what was going to get announced. Because this is a very make or break year for me for this series because I'm a big Gen 4 fan. Now I went to bed and I had a dream of the Nintendo of the Pokemon presentation and what they announced. And I remember there were some things like they showed off new Pokemon Snap and they showed off Detective Pikachu 2 and some like other weird stuff happened where we went to like a movie theater and got a car or something. I don't know. Some weird stuff. But the main thing was the main game that they announced was it was like a big red flare came onto the screen and then a big blue one. And then suddenly they showed Reshiram and Palkia together and Zekrom and Dialga together, and the games were called Pokemon Black Diamond and Pokemon White Pearl, and they were mashups of Gen 4 and Gen 5 remakes together. And for some reason, they were also on 3DS. They were on 3DS and Switch. But I was like,
Okay.
that was an exciting dream for
Okay.
me. You know, I was excited. I was like, that's a cool idea. Maybe at least Gen 4 remakes can happen, you know? But then the screen goes dark here, and the first thing that goes up is it does this like weird thing, and it goes like, yeah, it goes all the way back in time, and I'm like, oh, where are they going? And they stop at 2007, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god! I was so excited, I was so hyped, and I was like, oh my god, it's
Look at that
Pokemon
chunky
Diamond Pearl.
DS.
I'm
I had that one.
God. Oh
Pause
my
it.
god.
For a
And
second.
like I'm so
Pause.
excited, and this is
Pause.
like, oh my god, I was so hyped. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited. They're finally doing it. experience the brilliance once more. I was like, they are doing it, and then I see this. And I was immediately, I was like, no!
Oh man, I am
I-
so happy I'm not the only one that had that impression.
I had
of it.
I had the
Exact
exact same
feeling.
impression as well. And like like for me, one of the most hype intros to a game was the intro for Diamond and Pearl, like the music that plays. It's like building suspense. It was like a magic. You're about to start this magical experience, and then
Magical adventure.
I was not expecting that
So
to play because that was
for
so
view-
exciting
You
to
just
me.
have
For those
pop
listening on
vinyl.
Spotify, just to describe what just happened, is the moment that we were just like, no, it was these chibi graphics. Which seems to be
Yeah.
this weird
To
trend
give-
with Nintendo stuff lately, is they like their chibi crap. And
Mhm.
like we'll talk a bit more about like how we feel about it now, but definitely initially I was like,
It was a shock.
"No!"
So
So
Jules,
shocking because we were expecting these remakes to be in the style of Sword and Shield.
Mhm.
Yeah, not in the style of Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
to give to the Spotify viewers, to give a more descriptive aspect of what exactly we're looking at. Imagine pop vinyl figures in a video game. That's what the characters look like, and then just slap cell shade over them.
So it looks like the overworld stuff, because obviously like the battles are a little bit different, but like the overworld stuff, if you look at here, like it honestly looks like it's barely even better than Diamond and Pearl.
No, it's a lot better. It's
It's a lot better,
No,
but it
I
looks like they
I
just
would.
It
I
it
do like the
looks like
battles, to be fair.
yeah,
like,
the battles
battle
are exactly
graphics
the
look-
same. Like the battles are they're basically like Sword and Shield. Like
they're a little bit
it's
more
a little more
stylized.
cartoony, but like
It's more
I'm
similar to Let's Go, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say they're closer to Let's Go, and they're definitely not as good as Let's Go. I've seen side by sides.
But
I
like
really I disagree. Like I think the overworld compared to it's a definite step up from the DS. Like it's
Okay, it's a step up.
I have
sure,
many
but,
things
like,
to say.
the thing is though, the pixel art in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum were all really good.
Like that's the thing, is they were good.
This
pixel
just
art, right?
looks
This
like
is just,
a smoothed out, like physically popping 3D version of that, and nothing else.
Yeah, that's
with,
exactly
Like
what I
at
mean.
least
It's like-
when Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire came out, it was a perspective shift. So they changed the angle of the camera. You went from the 2D animation to the 3D animation. Everything was brilliant. You had all that extra stuff added to it at least, and this just looks like, okay,
Yeah.
let's just change we're just changing the models. It's like imagine
That's what I mean.
imagine if they just went from like the pixel art game and they just slapped a 3D thing over top of this. This was very easy and very quick. I feel like it was lazy.
That's
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's my
I don't want
opinion
to
on
be
it.
It might
It
not
feels
be
I don't know,
half-assed.
like maybe they had to redo everything, but
See, I don't feel like it's necessarily lazy, because like this clearly looks like a choice. Like this was
Yeah.
like a choice, but I agree with you. It's because it's not as big of a shift, right? Like I like, for example, like I don't like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire's art style. I actually prefer the pixel art from the Game Boy Advance. But even that being said, the shift from that pixel art to the 3DS 3D was more of a shift than the pixel art from the DS to this. This seems like they're remaking the pixel art just a little bit better.
Plus, the pixel art had its own distinctive style towards it in Diamond and Pearl, which really made it pop out on screen. When I kind of look at these chibi versions of what was my first introduction to the Pokemon game, I can only see this as they're trying to replicate the style without doing anything to make their own distinctive outlook on what this is supposed to be. If you were to look at like Soul Silver and Heart Gold, for instance, as a comparison, even compared with the original, it has its own distinct art style, even while being the sprite work.
Yeah.
And as you said previously, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it has its own differentiations with the game. But here, it to me, it just looks like worse Sword and Shield. It looks like they tried to create the concept of what they did with Let's Go, having the more chibi cell shaded style.
But even
But then,
Let's Go is like leagues more detailed than this.
It is. It just feels like they didn't commit to anything and was just like, okay, we're going to remake it. We'll just make it look exactly the same, but use our own reused assets for it.
Well, they're not reusing assets. Like, you can tell they're not reusing Diamond and Pearl assets.
At least the model.
but
At least the Pokemon models. But they do that all the time.
The Pokemon models are reused, but they always reuse the Pokemon models aren't going to change. I think it's more just the other thing to consider too is that you see later on is this is not made by Game Freak, and this is the first remake not made by Game Freak, and so it might also be something where the new team, one, they're the team that made Pokemon Home. That's not a game. That's a service. And this might be their first game ever, so they might also be scared with experimenting too much. So they might just be playing it safe.
Yeah, that's fair. But
can we commend how well they did remaking this statue that's supposed to appear as both in 3D? Though?
To be honest, that is the only thing that I thought looked good inside of the entire length of this portion of the direct.
I mean, I'm happy with the battle graphics. Like that's the thing is Gen 4 is good enough that I don't mind. But definitely a big shift from what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I would agree that the battle graphics are really good, but if you notice, if you rewind a little bit, they show the panning out to the wild wild Sphinx.
The Sphinx?
Yeah, the wild. I don't know why I said Sphinx. The brain not working today, but it showed the wild Sphinx.
Yep.
And if you go back a little bit, it has like this stock image panning to the. It just doesn't look right.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that.
Like you merge out the grass, and then you just see from the right side panning to the left, the trainer just kind of like turning in. And to me, that looks so much how it was inside of the original DS game that I'm just like, why did they keep that? They had all these different interesting.
But I feel like they did that on purpose.
Yeah, they did do it on purpose.
But it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I think there was some weird creative choices here. And that's the thing is like we're also just looking at the first footage of this. When we play it, it might feel a lot better. This game's also 8 months out, so who knows? Like there could be, well, not 8 months, but like.
I hope there's a Delta episode.
Well, like this is the thing. Like we literally don't know anything else besides this. Yeah. And I'm sure
they brought back the union rooms and like, a little bit further they show off the underground stuff. That was hype back in the in the day. The underground stuff was so fun.
Here's the thing I'm worried about though. So the thing with Leaf Green and Heart Gold Soul Silver, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold Soul Silver, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, is they weren't faithful remakes. They were updated. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They updated the games. They based them kind of on the third versions, and they added a lot of stuff. Whereas this game so far looks like the direction is very different. They're just remaking. It doesn't look like they're adding. Doesn't look like there's elements of Platinum here. It looks like it's based on Diamond Pearl base. And like, of course, we haven't seen much, but I'm worried that because it's not Game Freak, that it's literally just going to be a remake. And as much as I'll take it, whatever. It's just a remake. I'll take it. It's kind of disappointing that they're not going to get the treatment that the other games did. Like incorporating like current things, right? Like with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they incorporated megas because that was the thing in the current gen. And then
we don't know that though.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver implemented all the do know that the special physical split, but that's what they included all that stuff. Abilities, the Gen 3 remakes of the Gen 1 games
had to have that though.
But what
but the thing is, it brought in all the Pokedex stuff,
and that's what I mean. Is it brought in lot of elements?
Yeah. Will this game still allow? Will this game have the 3 previous generations of Pokemon in there?
Pokemon
And will it also have a
maybe.
bigger dex than Gen 8?
Yeah,
I
because
think
if you
Pokemon
recall,
might.
if you do recall Diamond and Pearl, there was a lot of like late after game content that they shoved in. If you recall,
Yeah,
every
on the
single day
island.
there would be like a new Pokemon for you to catch that was part of the previous generations as well.
And those things will be there, I'm sure. And like I'm sure they'll add Pokemon, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Pokemon. I'm talking about how Heart Gold's like Fire Red Leaf Green had aspects of Gen 3. Heart Gold Soul Silver had aspects of Gen 4. Um Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire had aspects of Gen 6. So like for example, the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Groudon and Kyogre got those primal forms that were similar to Megas. Rayquaza got incorporated into the Mega storyline. They had like the like triple battles. They had like everything that was like brought in for Gen 6 was brought into there. This inherently can't have Dynamax, can't have um wild area, right? Like can't have customization. Like all the things they brought in for Gen 8 is not going to be in this game. So this doesn't feel like it's a Gen 8 version of Gen 4. It just feels like it's Gen 4.
Yeah. I completely agree with that statement as well. If you do recall, like there was a time when they were remaking the Final Fantasy games where one game out of the rough ended up getting this similar kind of treatment as well, where it wasn't like a full remaster or remake. They just kind of copied it and then put it into this crummy art style and basically just copy pasted the game.
I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Okay, then I'll just drop that thought then.
Yeah, and but the thing with Final Fantasy, like of course you could bring in other things, but like a series like Final Fantasy doesn't have patterns. Like Pokemon had patterns until this moment. This breaks the pattern of remakes.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately it is because Game Freak isn't doing it, which I think we'll revisit further along as we move into the presentation, but I ultimately do think it's because Game Freak isn't working on it.
Yeah, and specifically, like I really like. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Diamond and Pearl. I wanted Sinnoh to be done like they did in like similar to how Gen 8 was done. Like I wanted to have a wild area like at the base of Mount Coronet or something like that, or and like like to me like the Sinnoh region itself, the land of like the environment and the everything about the location are like one of my favorite uh regions, just the geography of it. And I really would have liked to see that realized in a fully 3D world. But I think maybe at one point they did want to do that, but I think it would have just been insanely difficult to like basically make an entire new world, even though like they have everything, like they can base it off of the previous or off the DS game. They still have to remake everything from the ground up, and they
Of course.
can, yeah, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of time to do. And we know how they have their schedules at the Pokemon Company, where like this game probably only had like a year and a half, maybe 2 years to be made. And I honestly think like maybe at one point Game Freak tried to do this, but then it evolved into something else, and we're going to talk about.
I don't think that's what happened, but I can see that being a possibility. But
I
my
think
personal opinion,
I think the game that got announced after this, it is responsible for why the remakes
yes,
look the way they
yes.
do.
Yes.
I don't
100%.
think it's responsible for the reason they look the way they do. I think it's
Or
responsible
that
for
is the way
why.
it is.
I think it's exactly. But
I have
before
a
we get to that,
yeah.
so I've been kind of going back and forth here because there's one other thing about this that we need to talk about very specifically before we can move on, and it happens
Yeah, there's Cricketune.
very very soon.
I know.
There was
Cricketune.
And there's Lucario, my man.
Bidoof was
Um,
earlier on, but I didn't yell Bidoof loud enough.
It's fine.
It's okay. Bidoof will forgive you.
This
But anyway, so this was the other point. So I think like the chibi thing showed up, and I was like, what the hell? Then it kind of grew on me. I was like, okay, like whatever. It's a Gen 4 remake. I can't be picky. This was the point where I was really upset. This name is dumb.
It's so dumb.
I hate this
I'm
name.
so glad.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Serious? I have been speculating on the names for the Diamond and Pearl remakes for years, and there were so many better options than this. Why? Why would you just make it about the diamond and the pearl? The rocks. Like why? Like why is it not Eternal Diamond and Infinite Pearl? Why is it not something to do with time and space? Like why is it not a concept that goes alongside? Like why is it just, hey, it's a shiny pearl and it's a diamond that's really well shaped? Like I hate.
Yeah, because they did that with the other remakes of the games as
Well,
well.
Omega, Alpha and Omega different. Heart and Soul different. This one just tags on with the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
if you
also
realize
breaks the trend.
If you realize
Fire
too,
Red
those
and
names
Leaf
have.
Green. Fire Red and Leaf Green weren't the best names either, right?
Yeah, but Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah, but at least they had like a description of the Pokemon that they were that was representing the box art as well.
To be fair, though, Gen 1 didn't have a lot of like concepts or themes. Like it was pretty much just fighting monsters. It was starting with Gold and Silver where they started to like really build the lore. And I think that's why I forgive Gen 1, but there's no reason to forgive these names. Come on.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
I'll still buy them, and I'm still hyped for them. I'm still gonna play them. I'm so down. But like, really?
I feel like this isn't the kind of name that you would like to display inside of your home, though, because it's kind of like
Pokemon BD Wong and Pokemon Game Boy Advance SP.
Yep.
Oh God.
Okay, let's just move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So we have a lot to say.
I don't know if we were all at the same place, but definitely after this, like I was feeling a little disappointed.
I was very bummed out.
Yes, and then it just goes to this.
Then this happens, and I was like, "What's going on? Like, what is this?"
I screamed like, "Are we getting Gen 9 already?"
I was like, "What the hell?"
Because the thing it says
go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning.
Yeah, go back to the beginning. Right? That's like really cool. Okay, there is one thing that I want to state at the beginning once we get to it.
Where at the beginning?
Like at the desk. Wooden Pokeballs? Why
like
hasn't
a latch?
Yeah, why hasn't that been a thing?
Could be the Apricorn balls.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It's so cool.
This was cool, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Art style is so distinct.
At first, I thought this might just be a DLC, or an episode to the Diamond Pearl thing, and then like it gets to the mountain, and then this happens, and I was like, what's happening?
Is this the Delta episode?
And then I was like, what is going on? Are there two remakes going on? You know, like what's happening? And then you like see Dawn and Lucas here, like in like cool feudal Japan thing, and then this happens. And I was like, what is
the dodge roll?
This was the moment.
First thing.
The seamless Pokemon catch. The seamless capture. Oh my god.
It's like Monster Hunter, but
yeah,
Pokemon.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was Monster Hunter Pokemon for a sec. I love Chingling in 2 frames per second there.
Doof.
But yeah, there's like, I was like, what is this game? And I wasn't really sure what was going on. And then they kind of like start showing it off, and they start talking about it.
And this happens.
Right? Like, yeah, like these the 3 starters, which I think are perfect for this setting.
It so is.
And then they kind of start talking about what the game is, and they're like, okay, well, like this is the name of the game, Pokemon Legends Arceus. And then they start talking about both the games. They start talking about, okay, well, Diamond and Pearl is a faithful remake being developed by a different studio, but it's still the same director. Whereas our other game, Pokemon Legends Arceus, is Game Freak's new game, and it's a different kind of remake because it's not really a remake; it's just set in Sinnoh.
They're calling it a pre-make.
Are they calling it a pre-make?
They're called. I've seen around the word pre-make being used.
I don't think that's an accurate term for what it is, though.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
just a completely different concept. But
Yeah, it breaks away from the formula, though. It really does. That's what I love
what's
about it.
interesting is this game is kind of the natural evolution of Let's Go. When you think about it, not a lot of focus on battling for catching. The catching is it's a different kind of thing. It's its own thing, and the battling is separate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I like is I was reading up about this and like some of the statements that they were saying about it, and they were saying like, yes, you can pull out your Pokemon and battle the wild Pokemon if you want, and weaken them and catch them like traditionally, but the idea of catching is more focused on what you do with the environment, like watching the Pokemon, seeing what their habits are, and like timing and aiming your catches to make sure that you get them. So it is more of an open world experience. So you're still getting that combat. So like think of it as like the open world elements are around the catching and around the interacting with the world, whereas the battling, the combat of the game is still traditional Pokemon.
I think that works very well for this new kind of concept, though. Especially when you consider during the direct as well, they were talking about how these characters are the people who basically created the first Pokedex, and that's why they're going around the open world and catching them.
Yeah.
Which is something. First off, it's really enjoyable to see that Pokemon actually is paying attention to the lore that they've set up between the multiple different games, because they've harkened back to like the Pokemon War and all that kind of stuff in previous games like X and Y and Black and White. So just having this that focuses on this grounded idea of like this is how the first Pokedex was created. It
it's
it
Sinnoh's
warms
first
my
Pokedex.
heart.
They said Sinnoh's first Pokedex, not the first Pokedex ever.
Well,
gonna
even
be
still,
cool.
in the same
I love
concept.
how the starters aren't even the starters.
They're just
Either.
other
Like, it's
types
just like, okay,
of
here's a
starters.
Cyndaquil, here's an Oshawott, and here's Rowlet.
And
Though I
love
do
this
think
because
that Cyndaquil and Oshawott have a distinct disadvantage because Rowlet has the dual type.
sure, but
No, the dual type doesn't affect the dual type isn't affected by fire though.
Yeah, I know, but
no,
still, like,
I think he's saying like going
the
in
final-
with Rowlet makes more sense because he has a better variety,
more coverage.
That's
I
true,
think
but
why
he's
they
harder
chose, they didn't choose these Pokemon though based off of type and stuff. Like they chose these Pokemon because aesthetically they fit with the feudal Japan setting.
Yeah,
Like
like
Cyndaquil being
Ocelot.
like a rat, right?
Ocelot being the
it's
samurai, yeah.
like literally a samurai, and like Rowlet is like
Rowlet
bow,
is an archer,
right? Like,
yeah.
like an archer, and like their animals kind of work well with the setting. I like it. I think it's a great concept. I'm curious to see because they're calling this a single player game, so I'm curious to see if there is anything like trading and like if we're even
I'm sure there will
those
be.
social aspects.
It'd be
But
really cool to see if they could fit that into the game as well.
it's definitely cool. It's a cool concept for sure, and like it's something different, and that's what's exciting about it is that where Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are very traditional, and they're giving us basically the exact same thing we've already played, which is good or bad depending on the way you look at it. This game is an experiment, right? Like this game could be terrible, but I'm intrigued to see what they do because it's something different. They're finally taking a risk, and they're positioning it as a spin-off rather than as a mainline game, because I think they're thinking of it like this could become a series. Like it could start off as Pokemon Legends Arceus, and if it's really good, then they could do Pokemon Legends Celebi and Pokemon Legends
Other
something
things.
else.
They could also explore like different eras as well with the sequels of the games, which is something that I find interesting.
And
like imagine like a Pokemon Renaissance, for instance. That would be wicked.
That would definitely be in the Gen 6.
Yeah,
definitely, and they could tie it into the war.
What I was gonna say that could actually work if this works, if this like if this ends up being like successful, what a way they could quote unquote remake Black and White as setting it during that ancient era and finally giving us what the full form of the dragon Pokemon looks like. The true form of Reshiram, Zekrom put together, which we never got from Black and White. That could be the next one. They can finally make it a canonical Pokemon and like add it to the Pokedex.
That would be sick. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's cool.
This
And the thing is,
They
this
call
could
it-
put
and they could
the
call
thing
it
is though.
Kyurem. They could call it True Form Kyurem or something, just so that it still fits in the Pokedex where it should be, but it can be like very cool looking. You know,
Pokemon
Yeah.
True Form Legends.
Pokemon Legends Kyurem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
One thing,
did
this
you guys
this
get-
could be like what Breath of the Wild did for Zelda. Like
Yeah.
an open world, you're running around,
Oh.
kind of. It's
I mean,
kind
they're
of
clearly
isolated,
Breath of
but
the Wild, but that's not.
Did
a
you
bad thing.
see did you see that one shot of like Dawn looking at Mount Coronet? And I'm like, yeah, that's like straight up
literally-
Link looking
literally.
at friggin' like looking off the like on the box art of Breath of the Wild, like looking into the world of Hyrule, and like even the music, like the
Yeah,
nature sounds that played in the background, like
I love
And,
the
like,
strings in the
the dodge
soundtrack.
roll, like there's so many like, and people on like reading the reception of this, like people are already like, this game has like there's an immense amount of pressure I think that Game Freak's going to be under now, just based on this trailer, because this is what people wanted with Gen 8. They wanted a quote unquote Breath of the Wild Pokemon experience, and this is it. Like, it might not be exactly the way people think it thought it would be, but it's close enough. And
It's
like,
definitely
I'm sure this
something,
isn't
yeah.
everything. Like, there's going to be something else that they have to show. Like, they're going to show
Yeah.
eventually. Like, they have about a
so
year
where do
or
you think the
so.
town is? Because they mentioned this
I-
is like the first like human settlement. Do you think it'll be
I
Hearthome?
think. Well, no, I think the oldest city, if I remember correctly, is Eterna City. I think Eterna is the oldest city in the region.
I'm sure there's
So-
multiple towns though.
Yeah, there actually
two
I
that
have
are-
a small theory
they-
about that.
There's two for sure. It's Eterna and something else that are quoted in the game as being the oldest cities in the
Oh, the
Sinnoh
little
region.
town in the little. It's the little one where Cynthia's from.
It's like Heart. Is it Heart? Maybe Hearthome? I don't know.
No, Hearthome
But-
is the city.
So
But
I got a
this-
bit of a
Yeah.
concept with that kind of thought as well, because I
Mm-hmm.
was looking through this, and it immediately has the feudal Japan theme going on with it. And my immediate thought about the situation was like, well, how are battles in like gyms going to work in this sort of
I
setting?
don't think there will be.
If there is, well, just as a hypothetical, if there would be, what if the main character explored through different Pokemon dynasties that were inside of this setting, and the gym battles were you conquering those dynasties, or something like that, or challenging
So
those
they mentioned
dynasties?
there was only the one town.
They did?
No, I
dang
don't think
it.
they
There
said there's
goes-
only the one town. Did they say that?
Yeah, the
Are
village.
you sure?
I think it was like they made sure like it was like this is the first village.
I'm really not
well, there
putting
could
my
be- there
Pokemon
could be-
There could be other villages.
expertise to the table
I
here.
personally can't see it being like a warlord thing where you're conquering.
No, more of like a challenge sort of thing, where basically a challenge of honor or something like that. In basically challenging this dynasty, you
Wait, pause here
get
for a
some-
sec. On the why is there like a desk with flags and stuff in the background? That doesn't seem like it fits this
Yeah,
time frame. If they're going for like feudal Japan, it looks kind of like there's the Oval Office behind behind the starters there. Sorry,
I mean, are there-
podcast
Also,
listeners
this
on
game's
Spotify.
also very early development, so I really
Yeah.
like things are subject to change. That's the other thing is like Matteo was talking about the pressure.
Mhm.
One thing that makes me hopeful for this game is that because it is outside of like it's not starting a new generation, I feel like this more than other Pokemon games, Pokemon Company might be comfortable with them delaying, especially because they already have the actual remakes coming out in the fall or the holiday, which will launch the like Gen 4 merchandise. Like, I don't think they need this game to come out early next year. I think this game can be pushed. I don't think it will come out early next year. I'm actually
I'm
skeptical that will happen.
surprised.
I'm not
surprised,
quite
like,
sure
how
about that
soon.
detail.
Like, I'm shocked. Like, okay, so the remakes are probably gonna be the November. Like, it'll probably be in November, maybe October. But like, if this is early 2022, that's probably what I think. Once you get past March, you probably can't use the word early anymore because you're pretty
I think you
far off
can.
into the year.
Gaming
In like
generally,
Q1,
like,
yeah, like January to end of March, but like I don't think like you can call May or April as early. Like that's you're getting into
I
like
think you can.
spring, summer in that window.
I think when it comes to gaming, early counts as just first half of the year.
But even
Yeah.
that, like it's still super like it's only at most 7 months between
That's why
the
I
two
really
games, which is
don't
crazy.
think it's. I don't think it's coming out early next year. I genuinely think that this game is not coming out early next year, and I genuinely think that it is going to get delayed because I think they're going to have a lot riding on this game. And like I said, this game doesn't need to launch a line of
A
like merch and
generation.
stuff,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to launch a generation because Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are going to launch the Gen 4 stuff anyway. The
hmm
only reason there could be crunch on this is because Pokemon Company might be like, okay, Game Freak, we can't give you much more time because you need to start working on Gen 9, sort of thing. But it also
Yeah.
Gen
matters how
9, like
much they're investing in
yeah.
this because they might want this to be fully seen through because this might be the future of gaming, or of Pokemon.
Pokemon
Yeah.
gaming. Yeah.
I think
The future of gaming is Pokemon Legends
yeah.
games. That's all we get.
Yeah.
They're gonna do
Well,
one of every
this
single
is an
Pokemon.
open world Pokemon game is one of those like bucket list games that like everyone wants.
Yes, but I
It's like
don't think people envisioned it like this. When
yeah,
I think people
yeah, I said
thought
that earlier.
Pokemon like open world, I don't think they meant a single
Yeah.
player game. I think they meant a
No, I
social
think.
like MMO.
hmm
Oh,
Like once again though, we that could still be in the cards. Like I'm sure
Not for
there's going to be
this.
stuff. No, I'm sure there's going to be more than just what we've seen. Like there's going to be some
Yeah,
other
but
features
I
or
don't
something
think things
that
like that
fleshes out the
because
experience.
but
Yeah.
I don't think things like that because they've called it a single player experience.
So one thing I wanted to bring up though is so this is coming out in 2022. I'm relieved that this is Game Freak's next project and that Game Freak or like the game coming out next year, like whether it was like either the remake or this Pokemon Legends. Like I'm so happy that it's not a new generation of Pokemon. Like I'm happy they didn't announce that today because that I think that would have been a really bad decision. And like to me, I don't know about you guys, but like I feel like we we were in what 2013, 2014. The X and Y are out. We blink and we're on generation 8. Like it
yeah.
seems
That
like
happened so fast.
the amount of time that passes between each generation is getting smaller and smaller. And now that we know there's probably no like there's not going to be Gen 9 in 2022, probably not going to be Gen 9 in 2023. Let's be honest. Like that between 2019 was Sword and Shield. Now it's probably going to be 2024 for Gen 9 at the earliest.
2023.
Or sorry,
In all
2020.
honesty,
Yeah,
I think that
yeah,
works in
2020.
Pokemon's favor, though.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
that
I'm happy
but
That's
that
a
that
there's going to
really
be
good thing.
a longer amount of time between the generations. Like
but the
that's more
generations
similar to what
haven't.
it was before.
But actually, you're wrong. You know the gaps between generations were shorter back when we were kids. They've actually been longer recently. It's just because we're adults now, and the way we perceive time is differently. But like the jump from like Gen 1 to Gen 2 was like 2 years, and the jump from Gen 2 to Gen 3 was also only a
Well,
couple of
no,
years.
Well, it was also easier to program because of the bit graphics, but then when you look at X and Y and
No, I
Sun
know.
and Moon, for instance,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the gens now have been lasting out how long they should be, which is 3-4 years. That's how they've always
Yeah,
been.
but there hasn't like the amount of content though that they've been putting out in that generation is way more now than it was back then. And like yeah, okay, 3 years difference or between release dates for generations from the Game Boy days, but like it was 4 or 5 years between Gen 4 and 5, and then between Gen 5 and Gen 6 was
4
what?
years.
Yeah, and then but 6 and 7 was short, and 7 and 8 was short.
6 and
So
7 wasn't short.
yes, it was. It was
No.
it was 2016, 2012, or 2014 to 2016, wasn't it?
No, it was not 2 years. I think it was 3.
Yeah, that's still like think about how many how much Pokemon stuff comes out nowadays. Where like I feel like it's the generations that have a longer period of time where they're the current thing, they're really successful. Like you have there's more chance for innovation. There's more chance for for the next game. Like we have the ability to look at look at what happened when they did uh between Gen 5 and Gen 6. The visuals was the first 3D game that took a long time, and like they added new battle mechanics with Mega Evolution and stuff like that, because I feel like the system got stale in Gen 5 at the end. Like people wanted an evolution of the series, and we got that
Yeah.
evolution. And now I feel like the more time that passes between Gen 8 and Gen 9, we'll get that evolution. I think this is probably the next big step. Like this open world Pokemon, if done right, will be the big this I don't think they can ever go back from this. Like I'm
They
here's the thing though with that kind of
how do you go
concept.
back?
Here's the thing with that kind of concept, because I'm trying to look at this in a marketing standpoint as well when they're releasing, Pokemon Arceus Legends a lot, and as well announcing the Gen 4 remake. The Gen 4 remake is going to be the safe option that blankets whatever outcome Pokemon Arceus Legends is going to be. If Pokemon Arceus Legends ends up being a success, then it's great. But if it doesn't, then at least Game Freak has the Gen 4 remake to harken back to and be like, okay, that didn't work. We have this that worked, so we're going to continue doing this that worked.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also think it's just yes, I don't think this can become the future of Pokemon.
Oh,
well, look at this.
We can dream. We can dream.
Look at the reception
honestly,
we're giving.
What?
I'll tell you why. But I'll let you finish your thoughts first.
Well, I was just gonna say, look at the conversation we've been having right now. Like, I said, how do you go back from this? This is what they showed today as the future of Pokemon. Like they said it there. Like this is a new era of Pokemon begins. They showed this. Look at the way you guys were talking about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. You're like, that's it? Like we wanted more. We were expecting like this. That was their step back. Like they showed what those games were like, and now they show what this is. Like people are so excited about this right now. Could you imagine the reaction that people would have online and on boards and stuff if they go back to something like more closed off, like Sword and Shield?
Okay,
Yeah.
but here's my rebuttal to that. It's all fine and dandy. We love this game because it's new and it's fresh and it's something exciting and different. But if you think this game is going to have anything more than just over the Sinnoh Pokemon, you are crazy. So I cannot see this becoming the future of Pokemon.
When we say the
because
Sinnoh Pokemon, you're saying
I'm
like the
saying
national
the
decks from the
No,
Sinnoh region.
I'm saying
Because
the
they
Sinnoh Pokemon. I don't think there's going to be much more than, I would say, max, and this is being generous, 200 Pokemon in this game. Because with the type of game they're trying to make with this, and to make it well, like to do it well, they need to limit the amount of Pokemon they have. They cannot do 500 Pokemon and make all those Pokemon have individualized like patterns and make the world actually feel real. And I like this concept, but if this becomes the future of Pokemon, it's going to destroy what Pokemon was before. This needs to coexist with what Pokemon was before. This cannot become the future of Pokemon, or Pokemon will lose so much. Because if you try to take the sheer number of monsters and characters, which at the end of the day is the defining trait of Pokemon as a franchise, and you try to apply it to this formula, it will ruin this formula, because it will make everything samey, it will make everything lazy, and we'll run into the exact same problems that we're running into now when they're making a standard RPG where they have to animate 900 models. Now, if you have this game that only focuses on, say, 80 to 150 Pokemon, and that's what it is, it's a different experience. It has some elements of the old style Pokemon, but it's primarily single player, doesn't focus on the social aspect, doesn't focus on there being an absurd amount of Pokemon and having that kind of variety with the battles. But then you also have, on the other side, the mainline Pokemon games that do offer that. Then you get the balance, because you get what you're missing in those mainline Pokemon games in Pokemon Legends, and you get what you're missing in Pokemon Legends in the mainline Pokemon games. I think if they drop mainline Pokemon for this, if this becomes the future, it will fail. I think they have to coexist. They have to have both. They can't not have both, or else you lose what made Pokemon exciting from the beginning, which was the social aspect, which was collecting 1,000 monsters that are all different and new Pokemon all the time. And like, I just can't see it working.
You also forget about one detail that kind of defined Pokemon when it was just, when it just became a thing back in the first game as well. And it's the exploration and the discovery of everything as well, which is what I think works in this title, because you're going out into the world.
But
You
I
are
didn't
finding
disregard
these.
that. I didn't
No,
disregard
no,
that.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying that you disregarded that, but that's also something that exists within the previous games as well. I'm not disagreeing in saying that all of your points are wrong on this detail, because I think you do bring up a good argument that if they were to try and shove all like 900 and something Pokemon into this title, even taking out a few that are probably not going to work for cultural reasons in the time period, it's probably not. It just wouldn't work. There's too much content for them to do. But if a game like this ends up doing well, to where Game Freak feels comfortable allocating a lot more resources into a sequel, I think that's when you're going to have a situation where the other mainline game, the other formula that we get used to because of the social aspect, and this kind of innovation, that's when both of them are going to meld into the sequel of what this becomes.
I don't
If it
think
does
we'll ever
well.
get.
Happening. You
I don't
butchered
think
both
we'll ever get a
concepts.
full Pokedex in a game like this. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get like a third.
Maybe,
Because
and that's what I'm saying.
we're approaching 1,000 now, and as much as I would love to have every single one of them in the game, like I want to catch them all, as I've been told to since the mid to late 90s. It's just not feasible.
And that's
It's
the thing
just
is,
it's an impossible task, and
you have
like
to look at what
we all experience. And Giancarlo, like you were one of the very firm people that you didn't want to get Gen 8 because of the Dexit.
Yeah, I
You
was.
were very much against, like, I'm not getting Gen 8, they're not having all the Pokemon, it's not good for balance, it's not going to be good for the battle community and all that kind of stuff because we're losing our choice. And like
it's a hard thing.
It's frustrating
It's
because
like
like
this from a gameplay.
I would love to have my cake and eat it too. I'd love to have the game look and play what they're showing off here and have everything else. But Pokemon is a company. They're a media franchise. They're very good at what they do, and
It's just
they
can't.
Yeah, like
yeah,
the
it's just not
obvious like
possible. No matter how
the
much time and money you
reality.
throw at things.
Well, no, the reality is they're not going to give the Pokemon company's not going to give Game Freak 3 or 4 years to make this game the way the fans want it. They're going to crank their games out in year and a
Yeah.
half, 2 years max, because they have a TV show they have to make episodes for that rely on the
Merchandise.
material, merchandise, all of that. Like it's the biggest entertainment franchise in the world, and the games are the smallest part of that in reality. So
Yeah, the games are the ignition for all of the merchandise and the media that surrounds what Pokemon is.
yeah, like the
Yeah.
games are the source material.
So,
Like
it
if you
is
compare,
possible, but with
like
with Pokemon Company as the Pokemon Company and not being able to give Game Freak the amount of time to work on these games specifically, it just doesn't seem possible for the quote unquote perfect Pokemon game to exist. But like again, this is like a really good innovation that they did that I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting.
But do you guys think, like, what do you guys think about this? Because, like, I disagree with you. I think Game Freak will get, like, I think Pokemon Company will give Game Freak time on this game, because it doesn't really matter when this game comes out, and it seems like the point of this game is to kind of like experiment and try something completely new. And the thing is, Game Freak is a good developer, despite what all the whiny people on the internet want to say. Game
Me.
Freak knows how to make games. The problem has always been the Pokemon Company and their crunch, and them saying, hey, it doesn't really matter what your vision is, Game Freak, we need this game in 1 year. And that's been the problem. So, what if Pokemon Company is finally seeing Game Freak is a valuable developer? Let's put them on more ambitious projects that might take a few years, but they're not going to be reliant on launching our media franchises. The point of their games is going to be good and to please those whiners on the internet who want these things. And let's give the formulaic, samey, never changing standard Pokemon games to some other developer. Because really,
well, like
I'm sure it's
maybe
not that
that's
hard.
they're doing that now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a
And
trial.
Game Freak is big enough to be like they can work on 2 games at once. They've done it before. They can still do that right now. Like they used to do the remakes. They did, and
Coliseum.
the new generation. I don't know if did they do Coliseum, but like
No, they outsourced Coliseum to a different
yeah,
company.
yeah, but they're big enough to work at least in the pre Nintendo Switch days. They could work on 2 games at
Multiple
once.
games.
Yeah.
And
So
that's what I mean. Is like it
they
might just make
ga-
sense.
like Game Freak's A team can be the team that works on these ambitious projects like Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then they could have a B team that works on the new
The
the A
generational
team.
stuff.
Yeah, like either Game Freak team can work on whatever project, and then what they're doing with this Pokemon home developer, I forgot their name, that's working on the Gen 4 remakes. They can continue doing remakes, or they can do a Let's Go game, or they could do some other Pokemon spin-off, or something else. So like I I really think that based on the reception of Legends, Pokemon Company's got to seriously like sit down and think about like long term, not just like the next generation, but the next few generations of Pokemon, how to handle the development of the games in the future. Because I think this could be an opportunity for them, and they shouldn't
It
waste
is.
this opportunity.
But the opportunity at the end of the day isn't one of commercial value to them, it's one of critical value. And something
Mm-hmm.
like this, well, sure, it'll be like somebody will take it seriously and they'll be like, this was like an ambitious Pokemon game. It'll probably sell well, but ultimately, what they need is they need games that launch these characters that they can sell merchandise for, because that's how they make their money. So
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, I do feel like, regardless of the success of Pokemon Legends, this cannot become the future of the mainline series. Like, they will not stop doing what they're doing. and focus on this, because inherently, to make these games good, they need to have a smaller cast of Pokemon. They need to limit what they're doing and make it a more intimate experience. And that, while it's good for a game, isn't good for a media franchise.
I would
And so,
disagree on that actually, because like
but
with
how do you
Pokemon
tell?
Legends, first off, there's no doubt in my mind that they're obviously going to make a show or some kind of media surrounding Pokemon Legends once it actually gets launched. The concept is there for merchandise to be had, and the setting is very marketable for that kind of setting
I'm
as
not
well.
saying it's not marketable, though, Giancarlo. It's just quantity wise. There's a
Yeah,
reason that despite being one of the most critically successful games in the world, that Zelda doesn't commercially, merchandise wise, perform the way Pokemon does, and it's because of the amount of it. They
yeah.
need to sell 150 new characters every couple years to maintain this, right?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's a fair point. This definitely
Yeah.
won't have the same kind of outreach as the mainline Pokemon games. I think it works best as something that coincides with what the mainline Pokemon games are currently going for. It kind of like banks off of the success of it and branches off into something different.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's honestly a good place to leave it.
I actually
Yeah.
had one big point I wanted to bring up before we
Oh.
wrapped up.
All right.
Now, it was
All
something
right.
that's been on my mind, but then this kind of like this conversation kept going.
Yeah.
But it's more about the release date.
What the
Oh.
2022?
Yeah, so sorry, I'm losing my train of thought.
Oof.
Ooh.
Sorry, no, I got it. Okay. What's worrying me a little bit about the release date is because, let's be honest, this is a copy of Breath of the Wild. Like, it's Breath of the Wild. And like, even though Pokemon Company is its own vehicle, they talk to Nintendo. They plan their Nintendo's releases like they coincide. What does this spell for Breath of the Wild 2 and its release date? Because there's no way they're releasing Breath of the Wild 2 in this game even remotely close to each other, because they will compete.
I mean, there's the very, very, very minuscule chance that Breath of the Wild 2 comes out this year, and it's not an issue. But, like, so if this comes out, just say, hopefully, February or March, I think if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out in the summer, that's enough time.
Yeah.
So,
And chances
but
are
like,
this
Yeah.
might get delayed.
I do think this will get delayed. I think it has to.
Yeah.
Like, looking at where it is now, like, it still looks very much like a concept.
Yeah, we didn't
Well,
get
we don't
much
know.
information out of the entirety of what it's supposed to be as well. So, that's a lot of work for them to push towards the 2022 date.
Well, we also haven't, like, we don't know how old the build of what they showed, like how
It
old
looks like
that
it's
is.
just the wildland with the somersault button. It's just
Yeah.
the wild. It's just the wild areas with the somersault button.
I mean, there's a lot more animation going on within the environment as well, which is something that I
And
really enjoyed
and like
watching.
we didn't even talk about like the
The art
cell shaded
style.
art style that's like
Yeah.
being overlaid on top of the wild area from Gen 8. Like
Or
it
some of the
it look
seamless animations too.
it looks really, really good. Like people complained, obviously, there's once again one complaint is about the way the trees and stuff looked in Galar. But like honestly, I really, really, really like the the art style. Just it gives me like it does Breath of the Wild, but I also get like Okami vibes. Like it did a lot, and it was really, really, really like it accents what I think was a solid foundation from Gen 8, but it amplifies it in a way. And I think like Pokemon using art styles, I think could be a norm coming in the future and in actual
Yeah.
main games, because really like the Gen 6, 7, and 8 kind of look the same. Yeah, it's HD now in Gen 8, but now the if they add art styles to those, like every generation should now have, I think, should have a different vibe now, like from the art. So, anyways, but what happened to the stream or the video?
Nothing happened.
Yeah, it died.
It died on our end. It says the
Yeah.
stream has ended. Cricket
Oh, it's
noise.
fine. Well, it's fine. We basically got through everything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
mean the stream has ended? Oh, no. Nothing happened to the stream. Sorry, I know what happened. I'll explain that to you after. Don't worry.
All right.
But yeah, I think that we've pretty much exhausted this topic. We all have very strong opinions about Pokemon, which made for a very interesting topic.
I think I
And
might have completely destroyed the idea of me being a supposed Pokemon expert with my claims, but
no,
you know,
that doesn't, no,
Well, the thing is, we didn't really talk about like battle mechanics and strategy and
Yeah.
all that.
oh
kind of
yeah,
stuff, right?
that's the stuff
more
that
your
bores you
forte.
guys. That's
No,
the
it
stuff that
doesn't.
bores
Not
you
at
guys
all.
all.
We didn't talk about
Really?
EV training.
Oh god, yeah.
We can talk, but I think we should have another Pokemon podcast that's maybe more just in general Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately we all kind of agree this is probably the most interesting thing. Pokemon Legends is the most interesting thing that Pokemon has announced probably in like almost ever. I want to say like
I'd say it
since
is. I'd say it is the most interesting thing that they've ever announced, to be honest with you.
It's
Yeah.
definitely one of the most innovative things that they've announced.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
And I
haven't been
hope
this
it does
excited
well.
about Pokemon in a long time.
Same. And that's the thing, is like I really want this game to succeed, and I would love to have more games like this. But I also do love my traditional Pokemon, so I hope that they
Yep.
can coexist.
Yeah.
They've
Um,
earned my money today. They've earned my money.
I will buy I will buy Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl just to let them know I'm still interested in Pokemon, so that they put this game out.
God, I still hate that name.
I think I want to wait a little bit more.
Like-
Just maybe they give us a little bit of Delta episode teasing with like, okay, here's some Giratina
Gino,
stuff.
Let's
don't
be
think we're
real.
getting
You're
that.
buying. Gino, let's be real. You're buying that game right away.
Yeah, I am.
You stay.
But like,
You talk. You talk all this right now, but let's be real. We're all buying that day one. I'm probably
Yeah.
getting
are we
both
switching
versions.
versions this
Yeah.
time or no? Are you
I-
getting Diamond
Absolutely not. I'm sticking with Diamond still.
am going to purchase this game and create an entire Cricketune team. That way I can just
Do it.
say that I beat the entirety of Diamond or the entirety of Pearl with my Cricketune ensemble.
Do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just give it encore and round.
But, just
Like-
a tail note on your thing, Gino. I don't think we're getting a Delta episode. Yeah, that I'll just leave it at that. But I can tell you about that later. Why? But maybe I'm pessimistic.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of are, but like that's why we love it.
Am I pessimistic? But no, I'll tell you why now. Then it's just because I think the reason they had a Delta episode in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was to incorporate megas and like the new lore into the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire lore, plus to cover Rayquaza, who didn't have a storyline, whereas Giratina has a storyline already. Like they can just take the Platinum storyline and throw it in there, and there's no like new lore to build into the game because they're not bringing in.
Well, that's the thing though. Like with Omega
Pokemon
Ruby Alpha
polished
Sapphire, they kind of
platinum.
just followed the story of Ruby and Sapphire, and they kind of just like shoe in the Rayquaza stuff in the Delta episode. What Emerald would have been, right?
Pokemon polished
That's
platinum.
what I'm talking about. Like I found that the Team Galactic stuff in Platinum way better than Diamond Pearl.
Yeah,
Well, that's
no, I
one
agree.
thing that
And I hope
that's
that they
one thing that I'm
incorporate
really
elements.
excited for.
I want to
Wow.
go to the Distortion Zone and run
I
on
feel
walls.
like they will. I feel like they'll incorporate some portion of Platinum, but could be wrong.
Maybe it'll
Yeah.
be DLC.
I think we'll find out We're gonna definitely find out more about this game probably around like E3 or June, whenever, if there even is an E3. But like normally they announce Pokemon games early in the year, then you get a big update in the summertime, and then the game comes out in the fall. Like that's the way it's always been. So
Yeah.
like I'm
Maybe
sure.
we'll get
No, go ahead.
third version. Maybe we'll get Pokemon Sparkling Platinum.
I said
You
polished
said polished
platinum.
polished
Oh,
platinum.
Polished Platinum.
Platinum.
Pokemon PP.
No,
Yeah,
Pokemon
PPP.
No, that's too good of a name. It'll be bad.
Pokemon PP.
No,
Big
it's
PP.
so PPP.
See, they had Eternal Diamond, Infinite Pearl, and Dead Platinum.
Ethereal
Dead plat.
Ethereal platinum.
Ethereal. I know. I was just trying to be funny.
Okay.
Oh,
Dead Platinum.
Dead. Dead platinum. That
Time,
sounds like the
space,
name of
yeah.
like some kind of metal band too.
Well,
Dead platinum.
if there's nothing else that you guys would like to add, I think this is now the time we should end the
This is the
podcast.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will wrap it up then. Please, like and subscribe
If you're on YouTube.
Spotify, on YouTube. Leave us a message in the comments. Let us know what you think of Pokemon Legends Arceus, as well as Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or any other Pokemon stuff you want to weigh in on. Let us know if there's any topics you want us to cover in the future. Look forward, because our next episode will actually be an Overwatch episode. So that one will come out shortly as well. As well, if you are a Gino fan, get out. You are.
Unless
I
you're
would
a
much
Gino
rather-
fan, as in like me, Gino, not that puppet
Yes,
thing.
if you're a Gino of the
If you're a
Hub World
true Gino fan,
can
you can stay.
If you're a Gino and Smash fan, all I have to say to you is I would rather every single Pokemon game from now on use the chibi graphics than ever have Gino and Smash Bros get off my channel,
He is in Smash Bros though. He's a costume.
as he should be.
Yeah.
Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.